everyone. Welcome to this episode of Raising Noire Twins. Y'all, we have a really special guest. This really just warmed my heart speaking to this young lady because she is all the way from Germany. This is one of our listeners from Germany. She's a twin mom. And I'm so excited because, I was kind of mentioning to her, I get on here and I'm just talking, but it's really great to know that people are listening and actually enjoying it. And so today, like I said, she's a twin mom, and it's not often that I get to connect with twin moms, especially way across the pond. Okay. And so here we are today, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Wafeeqa Wahid to Raising Our Twins. Hello.
Hello, Michelle. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you.
And I need to give you a shout out because you may think we're not listening. The twin moms all around the world need other twin moms.
Yes.
So I can come all the way to the other side of the world
Yeah.
if that's what I need to rely on.
Yes. Thank you so much. Like I said, it really warms my heart to know that that people are enjoying what I do, and that I could at least be some type of help or some type of assistance in any way. Because, like I said, I started this because I was like, I can't be the only one going through this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing as a mom, let alone a twin mom. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't ready to take care of one baby. I've got two, so
Thank
I need
you.
more people.
Thank you. And so with that being said, we're just going to jump right into it, right? I want to know, well, before we get into the real topic of discussion, I want to know, what was your reaction when you found out you were having twins?
So for me, this pregnancy was a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So we went and whatever, we got checked, pregnant, very happy. The doctor tells us there are two. And for 5 straight minutes, I think we didn't stop laughing. Not me, not my husband, because we couldn't. We didn't know. We had no words.
Yeah.
And we didn't. I think we did not. It did not register, so we just started laughing. And then the doctor kept laughing, and it was just like a crazy bunch of people in there for like about 10 minutes. And then we're like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yes." So that was the reaction. And it's like the first twins in the family. In fact, I was the first kid for my parents to be even pregnant. Like they're the first grandkids in the family.
Wow.
So it was like from no babies in the family for so many years, about 10 years. My sister at the time was 10, to now 2.
Wow.
So it was like a complete happy surprise. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm the same way. I was just like, okay, because, well, my mom and my great aunt, they were like joking the whole time, like, oh, you're going to be the one with twins. And so I'm just like, oh, whatever. I don't know why they thought I was the chosen one, but clearly they knew something that I didn't, right?
Yeah, they sure did.
Right.
My mom always wanted twins, but she didn't have.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do I have to do this for you?
Right. Like, look, this is all of our twins now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a group effort, right? Okay, so
effort.
how old are your twins?
They'll be 4 in November, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So they're about the same. Mine just turned 3 in August, so they're around the same.
Okay.
Yeah. And are they boy, girls, girl, boy?
2 boys.
2 boys. Oh man.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a little different dynamic than me. I don't know how
Completely.
it's different, but awesome. Okay, and so one of the things that that you had mentioned is that sometimes it feels like you're like 2 moms in one. Like you have to be 2 moms at the same time, right? And we want to do our best at like making sure they remain their individual selves, and that we're loving them the way that each child needs to be loved and cared for, because all of us require different, love styles, love language, all this, right? And so when it's 2 little people at the same time vying for your attention, it's like, how do we do it? How do you do it? And so let me just start off by asking, like, what are the personalities of your little ones? Like, are they kind of similar or totally different?
So if you had to ask me how similar they are, it would be a very short answer, easy, straight up answer, like maybe 2 things.
Yeah.
But for me to talk about how different they are, like personality wise, they're from 2 different planets. That's
really?
how different they are. Yeah. So when one is more outgoing, the other one needs a little bit more push and takes a little more time to warm up.
Yeah.
And if you want smart answer, ask Noire, the older one. The wise answer will be from Nubaid, who will give it after a bit of thought, observation, and a few more cross questions. And then he'll probably give you an answer, you know.
Yeah.
But it's again different in different situations, like playtime. The more social one prefers to play alone. So he loves his alone creative play. He likes to play with toys.
Yeah.
But the other one, the shy one, he likes a partner. He prefers to play with a partner.
Ah,
He
okay.
doesn't prefer toys as much. Yeah.
Mm.
And my home rule for me is that when they're at school or at sports or in public, they shouldn't play with each other. You know, to try to remove that kind of interdependence.
Yeah.
So even their friends group, like Noire has a more hyper group of friends, while Nubaids are much calmer.
Yeah. Okay.
He loves his fashion. Like, he is so fashion conscious. He needs to get everything right. But Noire is like, whatever, comfort over fashion kind of a guy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So for me, like, I'm the kind of mom, like, if they're not the same in personality, I force them to dress exactly alike. So that at least they look alike.
I know, right?
Like, there should be some similarity. They're twins.
Yes, I'm the same way. Yes, I was like, I'm sure at some point they're gonna be like, "Mom, I'm over this," but I'm like, right now, I think it's so cute, and they don't. Mine don't look alike. Are your twins identical?
Mine don't look alike. No. Okay, they're like completely different. Neighbors' kids. I think me and my sister, who have a 15-year age gap, we look more alike than my own twins.
Really?
Like, you know.
That's funny. And I don't think I've asked you, if you don't mind sharing, what are your twins' names?
The older one.
Okay.
Nabeed, the younger one.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
Noire means the first ray of sunshine. So we're like the first one that comes in.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Nabeed is happiness. So, yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I love that. I love when I hear like the meanings to people's names or their children's names. Yeah. I think that's beautiful. Yeah. And so, yeah, but as you were saying, like with their personalities, I feel like you were literally describing my girls, because it's very much similar in that way, where one's more particular about things. Like when she's playing with toys, she wants to get it right, and she'll be over there in her own world. She can play by herself and she's totally fine. The other one is more social. She's more affectionate. Like she wants to be under me all the time, you know? But she asks a lot of questions, okay? She asks I'm just like, right. And I'm just like, I don't know if I have any more questions to these why, or answers to these why questions, you know? But yeah, so I definitely understand what you mean by them being totally different. But I do love how you just said that when you're out in social settings, that you encourage them to play with other kids instead of each other, because they have the rest of their lives to play with each other, right? You know, and at home and all that stuff. So I really do like that, you know. When we're out like at the parks, I do see them playing with other kids, but Siren, which is the more social one, is the one that will initiate it, you know what I mean? And then Lala or Laren, she will come afterwards, like, you know what I mean, just because, oh, my sister's playing with her, I'll go play with them too, you know what I mean? But she's not gonna initiate it. She's just gonna be doing her own thing. So that's one thing that that really stood out to me that you just mentioned, and I think I'm gonna encourage that more with them, is like, you know, trying to find their own way, their own paths, you know what I mean? Yes. And so again, like, I guess, you know how we were just talking about being a parent, being two moms in one kind of thing. And so for someone that may not have twins or may not understand that, can you just like elaborate more, explain, what do you necessarily mean by that?
Basically, I think parents with singletons also may treat each child differently, you know, in the sense that the first kid, things are different, while the second time around they're more experienced and probably less panicky about stuff. When the age gap is more than just a few minutes, I think it gets easier to navigate through things. Yeah. And in our case, I think it's more about adapting to the mood swings, personalities, the likes, dislikes of two different little humans, all at the same time from the get-go. Like, I need to be the emotional support and safe space for two people with two different insecurities. Yes. I'm the cheerleader for two people with two different victories. Yes. Like, what is a victory to one may not necessarily be a victory for the other.
Yeah.
So that kind of navigation, I think, is what I mean when I say need to be two mothers at the same time. I cannot tell, like, they both will not have the same wins. they may have two different wins, and I need to be equally happy for each of them. I cannot compare.
Yeah, exactly.
Both are equally important to
Mm-hmm.
them, so it needs to be equally important to me.
Yeah. And at one time, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, at one time, exactly.
It could be just in that instance, right? In a particular situation, like, okay, how do you handle that? And so with that being said, let's say if how do you handle when say if they're doing something that they're not supposed to be doing or something? Is there a different way that you have to what's the word I'm looking for? Like, talk to them to kind of get them to calm down, or to get them to understand why that wasn't a good thing for them to do? Is that something else that you have to try to navigate as well?
Of course, I think the difficult part was to recognize that, how to do it. And obviously it changes every day. No 2 days are the same, but like for Noire, the more social one, if I say no, like if we're in a public, like you said, I could say no to him and he would like probably understand, or not, like even if he doesn't understand, he wouldn't like, get affected by it.
Yeah.
But Nubid, who's already more introverted, if I do that to him, it will just put him more back into his shell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to be more careful, and I need to take him like to the corner and actually explain to him what needs to be done, why it needs to be done. So I think the discipline method is different.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm more strict or not with the others, like with any one of them. But I also think the way they reciprocate it, or the way it goes into them is quite unique, and that's why I need to be careful with what I say to who I say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I say it, like at home it may be a completely different story, but outside in public, and for me it's like, as long as the message is clear and you're doing what you're supposed to do, then it's fine, like, it doesn't matter like if I do it the same or not. Like, just those kind of things.
Yeah. And that's kind of like for me with Siren, she's more like, if she does something wrong, and like if she's like having this meltdown, if I like, pull her close and talk to her and explain to her, and she's like, okay, like, I don't know if she's really getting it or not, but it seems like because she's like, okay, and then she kind of calms down a little bit. With Lala, if I'm like telling her like, oh no, don't do that or whatever, sometimes she doesn't listen. So with her, I have to be a little more like stern, you know what I mean? Like with my voice, you know what I mean? Like, and then
I know what you mean. Yeah. The eyes go a little bit bigger.
Yes, exactly. And she's like, oh, mama's not playing,
Yeah.
But Siren is more like emotional, and so if I do that to her, oh my God, you would think I just like, her whole world is crumbling, you know what I mean? And so but Lala, she's all like,
one can be bright. My kid, one of them can be bright, like ice cream and chocolate. The other one,
of course,
the minute I say it, he'll be like, I don't like chocolates anyway.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Right. Oh man. And so with this being said, how we were saying, like, we have to learn how to treat them accordingly, right? According to their personalities, to their temperaments and everything. Have you ever felt like judged by other family or maybe if you're out in public, by other people, or maybe had comments to you because of that? Because I think people don't understand, like I was saying, Siren is more affectionate. And so if I'm like, always hugging her or something, I don't want people to think like, oh, she's giving favoritism. But I'm like, no, this is just how she expresses her love to me. Like, Lala's loving and affectionate too, but on her terms. You know what I mean? When she wants it. So has that ever been an issue where someone mentioned something to you, or you felt judged for like treating them differently, when that that's just how your kids are? You know what I mean?
No, they do, because especially also I think because of the characteristics, like you mentioned, one is more louder and the other is softer. They think like, oh, so this one is the more pampered one, like it automatically bias was already there, the unconscious bias. And I did like initially have a lot of self-doubt, but what I came to realize, like, because I did not need that kind of pressure on me or on the kids.
Yeah.
Because that would affect me, and whatever affects me is just like reflecting on their moods. You know what I mean? So what I learned along the way is, when like difference is not bad. I did try to explain this initially to people when they did, like,
Yeah.
were open about their judgment. The difference needs to be celebrated, like, and nourished, so that it can flourish in the right direction. Like, Noire, yes, is more dominant, he's louder,
Yeah.
but he's also louder in his love and care. So I wouldn't suppress the dominant nature, because he is dominant in the sense that he does take care of his twin brother. Naveed is more sensitive, so people are like, no, you need to toughen him up. And I'm like,
no, that's him.
He's sensitive. Exactly. He's sensitive to others too. So he treats others exactly the way he wants to be treated.
Exactly.
So that is, I think, very beautiful. I think we cannot change their personality, their basic nature. So what I started doing was focusing on highlighting their strengths, so that at the end of the day, they're just like kind, humble, good, well-mannered kids.
Yes.
Who have their own way of life, who have their own perspective of life, even at this age. Like, it doesn't matter how similar, or like if they both been shouted at or disciplined the same way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I also came to think is that nobody really understands, like, but a mother, I think, always knows how to handle her kid.
Yeah.
Like, be it between 1 kid, 10 kids, each kid, you always have that special connect. And I think we should just use that superpower.
Yeah, right.
And have like 1 or 2 friends to actually like take advice from.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's my mother, my father, my husband. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, the others, I just like let them filter through their opinions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be crazy. Like,
that's
it's not
true.
going to affect me. Kind of pressure.
Yeah.
So
that's true. I 100% I agree with that, especially because I think with twins, especially when you're out, I think people love to give like unsolicited advice.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. People who have not had twins, or even if they've had, I think every journey is different.
Yeah.
So like, if it didn't work for you, it doesn't mean it will work like it wants for me.
This is true. But I will say, I was in Walmart maybe like a month or so ago, and I saw this lady. We were kind of like in passing. I was getting the girls out of the car, and she was getting into her car, and she had triplets. They're grown adults now and everything, and so, you know, of course we we're having a conversation. And one thing she did say to me that I'm like, I'm definitely going to take heed to it is, she said, make sure that you set out individual times with both of them. You know, she's like, that's really important. She said some other stuff too. And I was like, okay, thank you. But that right there, I was just like, that's so important. That's so major. And I think the first time that I actually only had one child with me when I went out was maybe earlier this year, and it was a different ball game. Okay, I was like, this is so easy. But it really allowed me to see her of like who she is and her personality, because she wasn't feeding off of her sister. They weren't fighting over a toy, or you know what I mean. And so I was like, okay, when she said that, I was like, I get it, you know. And so I do try to do that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm busy. I'm also a flight attendant, and you know, life and everything. But I do have that in my mind, so that way I won't go too long without having an individual time, whether it's here at the house or out somewhere or anything, you know. So I say all that to say, is that something
I think that is
you do as well?
Yes, I think for me that came from like my family, because my mom had like individual times with each of us. Like even now, my sister is like pretty young, so even now when I go home, like we do try to have like, no, I'm kind of the clicky one. I think it comes with the second ones, 2 years apart, 2 minutes apart. The second ones are the clicky ones. So I am like that. So I did come from that kind of background. So that was pretty important to me. It was important. Yes, but not possible.
Right,
you know what I mean?
So
it's like either they're bonding together, like for the few minutes of the day or whatever, like, and I just don't want to interrupt that, because I feel that is beautiful, so I stay out of the way. Or they're pulling me into different directions, so I prefer staying out of the way. What I genuinely do is like you know, your friend did say that for me, not doing that would actually make me feel very guilty, you know, like not having equal independent time with each of them.
Yes.
So what I started doing was, actually, one of my sons is a late sleeper. So he stays up at night telling me stories. He talks
Oh,
about my
nice.
days. He asks me the questions. So no
Yeah.
matter how tired I am, it's just half an hour or so, but it's more quality than quantity, and that's
Right.
how we spend our time.
Yeah.
And in the morning, the other one, he wakes up much earlier than me, so I have to drag myself out of bed, and I'm like, no, he's awake. The other one is asleep. The husband
Yeah.
is asleep. It's just the two of us. So we get to the kitchen. We do stuff like making breakfast. He's not much of a talker. He likes doing things. So we make breakfast together, or we decide the lunchbox for the day. So these are the kind of little things that I find pleasure in, because otherwise, you know, like it gets pretty difficult. Like, you know, we do need more hours in a day if we need to spend individual time, you know. And especially with no help around, it all comes down to just us taking care of the kids, and you know, so we can't, like, I think even kindergarten they've gone like just once without each other. And that was like the biggest thing that they've done for them, like their life achievement.
Right.
I was alone, and that was because they were sick. The other one was sick, so one had to go, and like he couldn't stop talking about it.
Oh.
So that was the half day that I got.
Yeah.
But other than that, I try to spend like at least half an hour or 45 minutes every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know it's like less, like I have to actually give up my sleep, which was the most precious thing to me. But I'm
right.
Like, yeah.
I get you, girl. I get it. I get it. And so you said that your boys are in kindergarten, right? So are they in the same class or different classrooms?
No, they're in the same class. It is,
okay. And did you choose that, or how do you feel about that? How do you feel?
So actually, to be very honest, initially I did want them to be in the same class because they're going to a German kindergarten. We don't speak German at the time.
Okay.
So at home we don't speak. So it was completely new for them.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But I also, but then it was also something that had to happen was because of Corona. They preferred sitting in one group.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but what I noticed is that their German skills, I think, are not the best, like, are not fast enough because they've got each other to communicate with.
Yeah,
so probably if they were in two different classes, they would have learned much faster. But that's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did have each other, like, so I had that satisfaction that they're going to this new environment, new language. Nobody speaks English. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Oh,
and they were the only two people in the kindergarten speaking English. Even the teachers did not speak at the time. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was like I did, like, you know, have satisfaction in the fact that they had each other.
No, I definitely agree with that. Yeah. And so you just mentioned that you guys living in Germany. So this was a pretty new move for you guys.
It was.
Okay. And so I think I kind of mentioned or asked you earlier, what is it that you do for work, and how did you guys, if you don't mind sharing, end up in Germany? Like, how's that whole transition been? Like, I mean, because it's not just you and your husband, you know, it's like you and the kids, you know. So how was that whole process?
We were staying in Malaysia before that, me and my husband.
In Malaysia,
for about 6 years. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for about 6 years. I was working, he was working, and then we had the kids, and then we were like, Malaysia is amazing. It is. It truly is. Like, in terms of we're like travelers. We're like explorers. So we like travel to Southeast Asian region, and we're like. And at the end of it, then what actually happened was we started thinking more in terms of, you know, better overall development for the kids, better healthcare, better education, which was not the best in Malaysia. And that's how, like, we moved to Germany. My husband got a job here in Germany. So we moved, like, from the hustle bustle. We stayed in Kuala Lumpur. We moved to the small town in Bamberg of Germany. So
nice.
And we thought, you know, a smaller town and all of that will be better for the kids, like, you know. Yeah. Especially for boys who love the outdoor stuff more. Kuala Lumpur was the outdoor life wasn't the best because of the weather and all of that. So that is the reason we made this transition, like, for a whole season for the kids. And it wasn't easy, but it was something that we thought needed to be done.
Oh my God. First of all, I just think that's amazing. I'm all about people traveling the world and learning different people, cultures, foods, everything. I always say that, once you travel, you realize that we're all more alike than we are different, right? We all do the
True,
same
very
thing.
true.
We just call it different name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
I
very
love
true.
it. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. We're definitely gonna have to connect, girl, because I'm like this close to like moving out of the country somewhere.
You should.
I'm like,
You should.
I
Just for
want
at least few
to.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I lived
So
in
I've been an
Mexico.
expat my whole life. Like I'm
Really?
an Indian, but born and brought up in Saudi Arabia. So my family is still there. And then
Okay.
I was in Malaysia, and now I'm here. So it's like,
Girl, I
yeah.
love it. I love it. See, I'm like, I knew we was vibing. I was like, what is it? I don't know what it is, but I found it.
This is it.
It's the twins and the traveling
It's
part.
the twins
But
in the travel. I will travel with the twins.
right, that's the goal. That's the goal. I have a friend that actually did a podcast with her. She lives in, I met her in Mexico because I lived in Mexico for a couple of years, and she's like, bring the kids out here. I'm like, I know, I want to, like, trust me, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But I think that's so amazing. I just think, one, being a parent, being a mother is a beautiful thing. It's an extraordinary thing. But there's something extra special about being a twin mom or a multiples mom, right? It's like, because for me, I was just like, I don't even know if I can do this. And yet here we are. It's only been 3 years, but it's like, we're doing it. We're making it. They're happy, they're healthy. And, I really just hope that one day I'll make them proud.
Exactly what I was
And
thinking. Yeah.
and I hope that I really just want to create some good human beings, some well-rounded, awesome little humans, like, you know what I mean. That's all. That's
Yeah,
my goal.
I feel you.
you
I
know
completely agree.
yeah.
That's
And
my goal. That's my goal. Whatever it takes, whichever path it takes to do that, I think I just want to enjoy the journey because,
yes,
the
yeah.
days can be very, very, very long. But I think the years are very short. Like, they're full already. I just got them yesterday. Like, they were born
Yeah, I
yesterday. And
know.
now they're 4. So I think it's like, we may complain. I'm sure you do too. Like,
Oh, girl,
sometimes they make
yes.
us pull out our hair. But I can lose the hair as
Yeah.
long as I gain some beautiful memories.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. And so before we close this out, I just want to know, is there anything, or what would you say to a new twin mom that's like, in the situation that we were, like, how do we even do this? Like, what would you tell her, or what advice would you give to her?
I think one thing what I would definitely tell her is like, it's normal to feel this whole sense of doubt and the negative with the positive, the uncertainty of things. But you're tough. If your
Yes.
parents win, you're able to, like, obviously you will be able to do it.
Yeah.
You just have to, like, have that kind of confidence and that kind of positivity in your life. Be surrounded by as many positive people, listen to as many positive things.
Yes.
Because end of the day, I think our mood is a reflection of the kids' mood is a reflection of our mood. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you're going to be stressed about it, it's going to be stressful. Like, it's
Mhm.
not just about twins, it's about anything in life.
Yeah.
And I think it's also like, even though it may seem impossible during the days, like, if you have any shred of doubt, just know that you can and you will. You will
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
It's okay to need your own space at times,
Mhm.
like, it's okay. You don't need to feel the guilt, which I still do.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
easier said than done. It's easier, but I need to remind myself that sometimes I need that space
Mhm.
to be able to give more of myself to my
Yes.
kids.
That's so true.
And exactly. And I think deal with your kids the way you want to. No matter how many books you've read, no matter how many people
That
you've
part.
listened to, you need to know. You will know when it's the time.
Yeah.
You will know
Mhm.
what kind of mom you are to
Yeah.
which child. Also,
Yes.
don't have that preconceived notions of I need to be able to. It's good. It's great if you do have a list of things, but if
Mhm.
it doesn't go the way you planned,
Yeah.
perfectly.
It's
alright.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. As long as you have the right intent, I think
Yes.
everything will fall into place. And always have a hidden stash of junk food that you don't share
Yeah.
with anybody.
I
Keep that secret stash of junk.
know. Gotcha. I'm about to go restock mine in a second.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Wafeeqa, this has been amazing. Again, thank you so much for just wanting to be a part of the show and wanting to share your experience with us. I've learned something, you know, and again, this is part of the reason why I do this, because I'm still learning, and as you're probably still learning too. But you know, we can go back and forth. We can find podcasts like this and find new ideas like, oh, I didn't even think of that. You know what I mean? And so thank you again. And I appreciate you. If you want to shout out your social media so people can follow you and see your beautiful family.
I'm Wafeeqa Wahid on Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
Follow me. Very happy to. Even on LinkedIn, it's the same.
All
Wafeeqa
right.
Wahid. Simple and sweet.
Simple and sweet. There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much. This has been fun, and trust me, girl, I feel like you're gonna be
Thank
hearing
you.
from me again.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you. I love the energy radiating through the screen.
Oh, thank you so much. So you enjoy the rest of your day, and tell your beautiful family I said hello. And take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.